Hello and welcome to the Gold Goats and Guns short news for Friday, March 1st, 2019. Wow, I'm really distracted this morning. Got a lot going on. This new venue must have me just like, it's too nice a day out here to like be doing work. I feel like Ferris Bueller. You know, how am I expected to handle work on a day like today? So I'm out here on my porch on my laptop, seeing if this will work out. We had a false start a couple minutes ago, but I'd like to try this again. So today I want to talk about Weight Watchers real quick. So I just find it really funny. I've been adherent of the ketogenic diet for, going on 15 years now. And I've been waiting for this day for quite a long time. I got some stuff I want to try out today I'm going to show you. But I found it really funny that they came out with terrible earnings and terrible guidance going forward, that the keto diet is finally biting into their bottom line. But it's really been going on for quite a while now. I'm going to show you a chart of Weight Watchers that'll give you an idea that it looks kind of like Enron's chart at this point. It's pretty much a bankruptcy chart, and I find it really funny. And of course, the news is all over this. Is that Oprah, who I guess must have taken a huge position in Weight Watchers, has taken a big hit in how much money she's lost in the last couple days. But honestly, the stock was trading at $80 a share about 8 months ago, and now it's trading at around 22. So it's even worse than that. But the Weight Watchers story is one of those where it's really obvious that they don't have an answer to their business model, to the changes in the environment, to now change the parameters of their business model. And it's a story that we see all the time in markets, and it's one of those things that as investors, every once in a while, you really have to be careful about your thesis and to remind yourself that your thesis may be wrong, and to constantly check it and constantly update your thesis. Because if you don't, you could wind up in the situation that Oprah's in, which is that Oprah should have shed her shares of Weight Watchers ages ago, the minute she was interviewing people who were advocating the ketogenic diet. Because the ketogenic diet truly is the way we humans should be eating, okay? And that's just the way it is. I went to my doctor the other day. I got sick over the weekend, and I went to my doctor the other day just to make sure that a sinus infection that was dripping into my lungs didn't turn into pneumonia, because pneumonia is really bad this year. And we went in, I had all my vitals done. I had, all that stuff done, and I, wasn't surprised at all to find out that my pulse is high, which has been normal. I've always had a high pulse because I'm not I'm not in great oxygen fitness as a 51-year-old man. But my O2 sats were good, and my blood pressure was the lowest it's been as an adult. And I've been under an unbelievable amount of stress for the last couple of years, and I almost turned to the woman. I just look, take that again. That can't be right. I've been coughing all morning, which usually raises your blood pressure and all this stuff. And my blood pressure was like 116, over 81 or something like that. It was really low for me. I'm usually at the high end of normal, if not worse than that. And I've gone in the past, and they've kind of looked at me and go, dude, seriously. But so much of that has to do with being on a ketogenic diet most of the time. I cheat. I have my carbs here and there and all of that, but I maintain a relatively good diet, even though I'm easily 20 pounds overweight. And because there's a huge difference between fitness and health that we tend to try and conflate. Those two things are not the same. You can be in great, oxygen capacity fitness. You can have tremendous stamina. It does not necessarily mean you're healthy. Health is a different category. And we do a terrible job in this country of conflating those two things and getting people to be fit while at the same time maintaining an unhealthy lifestyle, but eating poorly and all of the rest of it. And that exercise does not mitigate all the effects of a poor diet and a poor and high stress lifestyle. It just does not. It helps, but it doesn't do all the work at all. You don't have to live the life of, say, Rob Lowe from Parks and Recreation in order to be a healthy person. And it also is destroying the idea that the vegan diet is the healthy one. And on this channel, anybody who knows that, who's been following me for years, knows that I have 2 words for veganism: self-correcting problem. Or it's really a 3-word thing, I guess, but self-correcting is hyphenated, so I can get away with it being 2 words. So that's that. The other thing I've noticed is that we're starting to see reports that type 2 diabetes is on the decline, and this is a very important point. It's not just that I want to jump on Weight Watchers' grave or anything, but no. Before we discovered keto, my wife did Weight Watchers, Camille, and she found it very helpful and very successful. But she was unhealthy. By the time she was done, she could barely eat anything. And that was at Weight Watchers in the early 90s. It's certainly not Weight Watchers today, because they even have had to shift a little bit. But I've noticed that the last thing to talk about when we get to talk about Weight Watchers is that the CEO, Mindy Grossman, is clueless. Her statement during her statement was a terrible one, and one that, to me was indicative of somebody who just doesn't have an answer. And I'm going to read it to you real quick. And she says, "We are in a very competitive environment. So we have keto becoming a cultural meme, and these things happen so very often. And we are not going to change our DNA. We've lived through this for 57 years, and we are not to play a game. We never have. We are going to be science informed, and we are going to be sustainable for the long term. But that does affect lapse member recruitment when we are not lapping something new." And I'm reading a quote from a Seeking Alpha article on this, so it doesn't sound like a good translation there of what she said. But now I'm going to bring up. But if she doesn't think that that this is a sustainable situation for them, then I'm going to bring you up the chart of Weight Watchers. Now, this is the monthly chart of Weight Watchers. Each of those bars is a month. And you can see that in early January 17, Weight Watchers was not worth much. It was not in a very good position. And then it went on this amazing run, and it's given all of that back. And this is just the loss from a couple days ago from earnings. And they're now guiding earnings of down around $1 a share. And I'm sorry, that means that Weight Watchers for next year, that means that Weight Watchers should be at best trading at around $8, and it's still overvalued at 21. And that's insane, because I don't see this company, certainly in this environment, trading at a multiple, shouldn't be trading at a multiple of more than 8. Certainly trading at a multiple of 20 times future earnings, and is not acceptable. It should not be acceptable, not given where they are. So, and not given their prospects, because the truth of the matter is that most people don't need Weight Watchers. What you need is the courage to give up the fat is bad meme and go on a ketogenic diet. And if you do so, you'll find that your life and your outlook on everything improves. You're less prone to being hyperbolic in your emotional state. You're less prone to fits of depression and everything else. And of course, you're less prone to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and all the rest of what are called in this community lifestyle choices. And even doctors believe that those things are lifestyle choices. And the title of this talk is, ultimately, the keto diet will do more to save America than Donald Trump. And this is true, because if keto not just becomes a cultural meme now, it means that the millennials and even the tail end of the Gen X, these generations, if they make the functional shift right now to a healthier lifestyle, a healthier eating lifestyle, and they demand higher quality food, and they eat more animal protein and eat more high quality saturated fat and all the rest of it, healthcare costs in this country are going to drop like a rock. The pharmaceutical industries are going to take a hit. The healthcare companies are going to take a hit. All this discussion about we have to have single payer health insurance will go away. We will crest at, this will be the high point of how much we will spend on a percent GDP basis on healthcare once we get past the demographic cliff of the baby boomer generation and the silent generation that ate a poor diet as recommended by the government. And the government's going to be very slow to change off of this. Certainly Michelle Obama's whole plan was absolutely wrong while she was in office and delayed this for a few years. But you cannot, like everything else, I've always said that lies are expensive, and maintaining the lie that sugar doesn't hurt you and fat is bad for you, the lipid hypothesis as promulgated by Ansel Keys back in the 50s, complete lie. It was a lie in the 50s. It was a lie always. Lies are expensive to maintain, and the truth is cheap. And the truth is really, really cheap once people take the plunge, stick with the diet for a few weeks, even just a few weeks, and they start to feel better, and all their chronic everyday ailments go away, and all the little stuff that makes their life intolerable and makes them mean and vile because they're in pain all the time. All that goes away, and all of a sudden, the world doesn't seem such a bad place. And they're ready to tackle the world differently, and they're ready to shoulder bigger burdens and do greater things and do the right thing. The keto diet's going to change. The American people adopting the keto diet is one of the great new trends in American culture. And I absolutely love watching it happen. And if Weight Watchers is a casualty of this, well, you know, they have no one to blame but themselves. All right, well, this has been the Gold Goats and Guns short news for Friday, March 1st, 2019. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that this format actually works. We'll see as well relative to the quality of the stream. I don't know. It's an experiment. We'll see if it works. And if it doesn't, I'll go back to my office. Not a big deal. But it's spring here in Florida, and I love working outside on days like today. So you can follow my work over at tomluongo.me. You can support it over at Patreon, patreon.com/goldgoatsandguns. You can follow me over on Twitter at TFL1728. And you can join my live streams on Monday nights at 8 p.m. and Friday nights at 8:30. You guys have a great afternoon. You take care. Keep your stick on the ice.